Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about why you need to be single. I keep looking over here, the camera's usually over there. Why do you need to be not only single for a time, I want to address what a lot of people go through in their dating and relationship careers, and I also want to talk about how people don't know how to find their balance, and how this plays a role not only in their lives but in their friendships, their relationships. I've talked a lot about this in some previous videos that have been cut off, so sorry about that, guys. And I actually wanted to start this off by bringing this back to me as an example. So right now, this very video topic is very important to me because I'm trying to live up to what I preach. And I say try, meaning there's what I know to be true, there's what I know to be very, very accurate, and there's me trying to reflect that in my own life. So right now, I'm single. I've been single for a very long time, and I'm really trying to focus on this balance factor to my life. I'm not looking to date right now. I'm not looking to be in a relationship right now. Although I don't mind talking to people, I'm always somebody who keeps my options open, but I'm practicing what I'm preaching, and I desperately want to get to my balance so that I can prioritize being in a relationship and dating, and being responsible enough to date, being responsible enough to be in a relationship, being accountable enough. I think there's too many people out there that aren't pursuing balance before they pursue their desires. If you go to a store and you want to buy a watch for $1,000, or let's just say 500. You want to go to let's just say you want to buy something that's $500. You can't have that in which you don't have the energy or the money, right, or the value to get it, right? So if I go into a jewelry store and I want to buy a $500 watch, and it's I don't have 500, I got 250. Well, I gotta work a little bit more to get that energy, to get that money to buy that watch. Similarly, in dating, in relationships, or in life, if you're not leading a balanced lifestyle, if you're not leading your own kind of balanced life, then different aspects of your life are going to reflect, not poorly, but not reflect as adequately as you'd want these different segments of your life to be, right? And so I'll give you an example. My example. I'd come back to New York to live with my grandma for a bit, help her out. She was going through some things, and so I ended up having to leave my grandma's for a time, and now I am back at my mother's home for maybe another week, 2 weeks, and I've been here maybe 2 weeks, on top of that. So I'll almost be here like exactly a month before I leave next week. So my goals that I'm focusing on now to get my balance is getting my own place, which I'm getting next week, getting the income that I need to sustain myself, so for me it's more of like a financial and environmental balance than it is a family, spiritual, physical, career balance, right? And I always recommend people look up the Wheel of Life in Google. Just Google search Wheel of Life, and you'll see all these different spokes to a wheel, that are different, which are metaphors for the dimensions of your life. And like I said in an earlier video, not even I think like yesterday or 2 days ago, it's so important to understand where you are, like in terms of balance, and as you navigate your life. And I'll give you an example. When I write in my journal, usually at the end I do like a little summary report for my life, and I try to see how balanced I'm living my life right now with all the different dimensions, and I'll integrate the wheel of life into my journal report at the end of my journaling. And sometimes it's like I average all of them out and I'm a 6 out of 10, and I'm like, okay, cool, I gotta do something. Sometimes I'm better, sometimes I'm worse. So it's very important that we start being mindful of how important being balanced is. Because if your body isn't balanced, if you're not living like a health, let's just say, like, for example, your body, you obviously know if you're feeling crappy physically, your body, you're not in balance. Maybe you're not drinking water, maybe your diet's off, maybe you're drinking too much coffee, maybe X, Y, and Z. So not just like in physical balance, but also if your life balance isn't in order, it makes dating that much more difficult, because your focus is being distracted, and there's less of a focus on dating and relationships. I'll give you an example. A lot of people want to date and they want to be in relationships, but if you're worrying about all these different aspects of your life, if you're worrying about your family, or you're worrying about paying your bills, and you're worrying about your security, if you're worrying about your career, and you're with somebody, and I'm talking on a general level, if you just don't have your shit in order, then it's going to make focusing your time and attention on somebody else that much harder. And this is very important to know, to breathe, and to know and to live, to discover your own balance, to discover like what makes your life balanced. And so like I said in a recent video that got cut short, I went to a bar with a friend, and I met up with two other friends of his that I thought were together, and they weren't. And their reasoning for them not being together was pretty much at the bottom line. It was they are pretty much not ready people to get. Like at first of all, they're unqualified people, so they don't really have that much in common with one another. They there's attraction there, but that's pretty much it. Chemistry wise, the guy is still a boy, and he's still undecided on what he wants to do, and he's still got issues that he's connecting himself to a story that is bringing him in a negative place, and the girl is kind of waiting around, and she's doing her own thing. And so I was talking to what I'm trying to relay back with this example of these two people, is that they're trying to be together, but there's friction because they're not balanced. They're not balancing out their lives. I asked her, like, are you living a healthy lifestyle? She's like, no. Like, are you saving your money? Are you doing what you love every day? She's like, no and no. But you're going to school though? Like, yeah, okay, great. How's your family? Are you spending time with your friends and family? Are you doing this, that? And so she's all over the place in her wheel of life, her life balance. One thing I do, and I say this all the time, one of the biggest questions I ask in my consultations is I ask whoever it may be, whether it's for dating, relationships, or purpose, or whatever kind of coaching it may be, I ask, how willing are you from a 1 to a 10 to want to overpass your challenges? And 2, how balanced is your life from a 1 to a 10? If people say, in the dating relationship realm, if they ask in that kind of consultation, if they answer less than an 8 out of 10 balance, I say, listen, your focus should be elsewhere. Yes, dating and relationships is an important aspect of your life, I understand, but you have 6 or 7 other components to your life that definitely need attending to before you get to this one. This one's very special in particular, in the sense that you are bringing another person into your life, and you have to be accountable and responsible for how you are being with this other person. Once you start connecting to other people, you start affecting them for better or for worse. And so why I consider life balance a fundamental of dating relationships is that you're trying to set up a great foundation for whoever you may explore with, right? Whoever you may come across. And let's just say you do find somebody who's very appealing to you, and you want to go throughout the dating process, and you want to be in a relationship with them maybe down the line. If your shit is not in order, right? If you cannot help yourself, how can you help the other person? How can you give, hypocritically or ironically, to this person that you want to be with, yet you can't give yourself the balance that you deserve, right? And this is what I love about people who are undecided, or boys in a relationship when it comes to men. Men who are indecisive to what they want. They're leaning on their negative storyline or negative story from the past or the present, and they're dwelling in this position of stagnancy. Like, they're not going anywhere, they're not going forward, they're not going backward, and this is not a very attractive place to be in. I think it's the same for women. I think it's just a little bit different. Both parties just have to be in a position of leveraging their balance. Like, for me personally, like, if I had to be totally honest with myself, if somebody approached me like now and said, Daniel, like, I really wish, that we could date, there is chemistry here, there's this, that, and the third, there's compatibility, we have the time, like, let's do it. I would say, listen, like, I really want to explore those things too, but for your sake and for my sake, I need to bring myself to a balanced place. And now, I'm not just saying that people will forever, you can't, unless you are in a balanced place, that you can't be in a relationship or date. I'm just saying, the more far away from the tree that you are, which is balance, the more likely negative crap is going to happen. The more it's not going to work out. The more you're actually taking away from yourself. Because most people who are focusing on dating and relationships who are not at least an 8 out of 10 in balance, it's either escapism, they're focusing on dating relationships because they're trying to neglect or be in dissonance of other parts of their life. Maybe trying to figure out solutions to psychological challenges that person may be happening. People date for a lot of different reasons, and it may not be like a positive agenda. It may be just like a neutral or negative agenda, right? Some people date just to date. Some people date to understand themselves and explore who they are. There's billions of different reasons why people date, but you could say that there's a correlation. When people are more balanced, more successful experiences happen. And this is because their life is being regulated in a positive way, that every other aspect of your life is being reflected. And you're kind of like in a, what do you call it? Like, when water in a fish tank is alkaline, then the fish can live and cohabitate in that water, right? What happens to fish or goldfish in water that is too toxic or too acidic, or too what do you call it? The other one. If water is too acidic, if it's not a pH level of whatever, the fish will die because it can't exist in that water for that much longer. They're gonna die. So you got to balance out your own pH level of your life, your balance, and that's what I'm doing right now with my life. As much as I want to date, as much as I want to, be in a relationship, it's been a while, and it would be nice to meet somebody. I also realize that there are elements to my life that I need to work on. There are stories that I am attached to that I need to work on just as much as the next person and the next person. If we're totally honest with ourselves, we all have stories that we connect to. We all have dispositions of dissonance that we have. We kind of placate our attention to and divert our attention to different things. We sidetrack ourselves, and so a lot of us are living in kind of like a fake reality of what we are doing. And we may have like a strategy, we may have things that we want, but at the end of the day, if you're pursuing a relationship, or you're in the dating scene, you're pursuing people, there's just so much at play going on if you're not living a balanced lifestyle. And I keep throwing out like balanced lifestyle. Make sure that your family is in order. Make sure that you have great family relationships, that you are building on your bonds and your friendships, and you're going out and you're experiencing new things, and you're balancing your budget, and you're growing that financial security. Your financial security, not just your environmental security, maybe in a place. You're living a healthy lifestyle. You're discovering your own spirituality, what life means to you, and what you mean to life, and how you're giving back to the world with your purpose and passions, right? Your career, you know, where are you on that, in that element to your life? You know, if you're taking care of yourself physically, like there's all different parts of your life, and they don't even really have to do with dating relationships yet, and very intimate relationships yet. You know, that's for another video, and how to conduct that kind of business. But I think it's important to have this video out there, because there's going to be a lot of people who say, you know, but Daniel, like, I want to date, I want that experience. Yeah, of course, get that experience, but make sure you're in a good place for it. You know, make sure that you're in a place where, if anything, you're going to affect the other person positively, not negatively, right? And, you know, make sure that your intentions for dating and being in relationships is authentic. Make sure that there is a reason why you want to date and have a relationship. Make sure that those intentions are clear to the other people that you're seeing. You know, I just find that so many people are afraid to state their intentions because of the fact that maybe they won't be accepted or validated or something. It's just very important that you put your intentions out there. And so I would ask yourself if you think that you are living in a balanced place from a 1 to a 10, and if you're not, you know, go back to the wheel of life. Think about what parts of your life, what elements of your life are kind of in the negative or declining, or, you know, it needs work. And ask yourself how that would actually play a role in the bigger picture, how that would boost your life. More often than not, we end up with thoughts and inner core ideas that sometimes we have disdain towards, and like family, some people aren't really family driven, but if we can get to like these core feelings of why we are the way we are with particular parts in our life, whether it comes to health, spirituality, family, we all have parts of the wheel of life that we don't necessarily gravitate towards. And sometimes this is very great when we find somebody that reciprocates what we have challenges in one part of the wheel of life, they exemplify in, and so we can cross reciprocate one another in a healthy relationship, in a dual relationship. But then that's why we also have friends and family that may have those similar traits and attributes. So it's important to be more aware of the balance that we are falling in and out of all the time. And it goes back to what I was saying before. You don't necessarily have to be in an always balanced state when you're in a relationship or dating, but at least make sure that you're holding yourself accountable and you're holding yourself responsible for how you are with other people. Make sure that you know, you are authentically guiding yourself into positive directions in decision making, and not placating and skipping over parts of your own life that you need in order to bring yourself into a balanced place, and just dating and you know, pursuing relationships to, you know, and then dealing with things later. You know, when you're not leading a balanced lifestyle, relationships end up having those consequences within those relationships. One way or another, your life catches up to you in relationships and in dating, and the other person will be able to see what's going on with your life. And so that's really important to notate. So I'm going to end this here, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this quick 18-minute video. So many different videos to come in this area. If you have any questions about my life, anything I've said, anything about the channel, any kind of video content you want me to produce, ideas, feedback, criticisms, trollings, let me have it. Maybe you can come on one of these days and we can talk, and I would really love to, you know, have more activity in the comments. Make sure you do like and subscribe. I also am posting a lot more on my Medium. I do events in New York City all the time. I do meetup groups. And of course, as always, I have my coaching going on every now and then. And so if you want to work together and you feel that, you know, you want to live a more balanced lifestyle and you want to date, or you know, you're having challenges with dating or relationships, you know, I'm here for you. Even if you need somebody to talk to real quick, I'm always down to talk to others. I'm in the process of trying to figure out what kind of Slack community or what kind of chat room community that I want right now, but there may be a community coming if the YouTube channel gets a little bigger. Right now the participation is at its low, on this channel, so I don't know what will particularly happen. So, but we will see. All I know is there's going to be a lot more content when it comes to personality stuff, psychology, dating, relationships, spirituality, work. A lot more stuff coming this way. Interviews, other people's participation, and a lot of fun stuff. So, hopefully, in the next week to come, you'll see me in a different, more revitalized location, and that's pretty much it, guys. I will see you next time.